Hi, and welcome. We're the Weasley sisters. I'm Naturally Nitty, aka Jessica, and this is episode 167.
And I am Alina, also known as Starnet. This is February the 12th, and this is our weekly podcast. If this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. If you're a regular, thanks for coming back.
So, grab your knitting, pull up a chair, and craft along with us. No mojo for any of us.
Skip right on to works in progress.
I actually have been working on my Mara shawl. I'm on the last couple inches is just a 1x1 ribbing. So that's what I'm doing. But it's like a big blobby mess on the needles. So nothing to show for it right now. But I'm excited that I'm on the last part.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're working on something. Working on, is that too loud? I'll put it down. I hear an echo, so I turned it down a little bit. Does that work?
That works good. Yeah, I was trying to turn mine down because I heard an echo, but you're good now.
I think. So, I am still working on the Superman sweater because I'm a horrible aunt and I didn't finish it in time for his birthday or the end of last month, so I actually haven't touched it since.
You're not horrible.
But anyways, I am working on my Bitterroot, which it doesn't look much different than last week, but I promise it is. I'm almost at the end of the third chart, and then I'll start on the crazy chart here. That is so crazy, it runs, but it's like the end chart. I think that's the last chart.
That's awesome.
No.
Oh.
There might be another chart after that.
And you need that done by the end of this month, right?
Yeah, it's for 50%. But then I was feeling guilty because you were like, so, are you working on the rest of your owl? And I was not. Okay, so no, let me see. Chart D. I have one more chart, and then this one's done. So I have like one or two more rows in the chart that I'm in, and then I have the 20 rows in the other chart, and then I'll bind off.
Oh, so you're cool getting there.
Yeah, and it goes faster, but it's one of those things that, like, I have to be sitting to do it. Like, I have to be paying attention. So I'm not going to work on it while we're talking because I'm not paying attention.
That makes sense.
Then for the Super Bowl, like I said, I was feeling guilty that I hadn't worked on the other parts of my sweater because to be at 50%, I need to have either the brown sweater, like the body of the brown sweater done, or this one needs to have the sleeves done. So I started on the sleeve for the Super Bowl.
Cool.
Now, we talked about this before, but like this pattern, she had you decrease like every row, but I...
yeah, don't do that. I need to rip mine out and redo the sleeves.
Yeah. I actually just read The Opinionated Knitter, or her book Knitting Without Tears, where she just talks about
every 4 rows?
Both of them. Actually, they're in both of them. And so every fourth row I'm decreasing. That way it's more gradual. And it's going good.
Good.
That's like 6 inches during the Super Bowl. So this is definitely something that I can just knit whenever. So I had to pull out my oddies because I have no idea where my size 8 needles are for my tip, for my interchangeables. Plus, I didn't want to drop stitches. I'm kind of leery using the knit picks on my shawl because if they break, I'm going to be really mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Hopefully I can finish that by this month. I just don't have a lot of knitting time. I should not have it was like a detention owl, so I had to try it, but I just don't have a lot of time.
If it gets you to work on them at least somewhat and get some more progress, I think that's at least good.
Yeah, I do too.
Maybe I'll rip out my sleeves and knit along with you because I'm not signed up or anything, so I don't have to. Well,
and if you're SOSing, there's no point in doing an advanced study because you're not getting.
I'm not even handing in classes. I'm going to bank on my last term. I ended well. I mean, I didn't end on a bad stand. I just forgot to sign up, so I think I'm not even turning anything in.
Yeah, but I did turn in last month. I turned in 2 classes. We talked about this last time. I just feel bad, like, turning in sewing all the time.
I don't think you should.
And, okay, let's just move right on to, we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about spinning. Are you spinning anything?
Yeah, I'm just scared Tallulah. And then Draco goes after. I'm still working on the drop spindle. I probably only have an ounce on here.
Oh, that looks really good, though.
Not much. I still have well, it's hard to see, but it's, yeah, probably not even an ounce done. So I haven't got very far. But that's pretty much it. I have not been crafting.
I have not been spinning anything, so yeah.
And I'm okay.
Moving right along to sewing. Yeah. That is what I've been doing. Sewing. So, I have a lot of fabric that I cut last month, so it won't count for this month's project.
Bummer.
I did grays because I finished the blacks that I was working on, and then I'm doing grays, and so that's like a hedgehog fabric, some fox fabric, and then I found some Harry Potter fabric. So I'm sewing that. But did you know that this was Hogsmeade weekend? I totally forgot. Had I known, I would have finished the Harry Potter stuff earlier and put them up in the shop. But I didn't. And so I'm lame. And there's no started at Hogsmeade this weekend because I'm not prepared. I feel like a loser.
I forgot they do that on Valentine's weekend.
I know. So do I. I feel like a loser and out of sorts.
That's okay.
But yeah, so I've been sewing, and I sewed Fat Fiber. Recently got new leadership, I guess you could say. Okay. The lady who was doing Fat Fiber had to retire, and then someone else picked it up and decided to continue it on because it's a really great thing. It's kind of like a monthly box. You don't subscribe, but you get the box, and then you get samples of all different independent knitting and crochet and spinning artists for knitting and crochet and spinning. So, like, you get, like, samples of fiber, yarn, and then I send samples. Sometimes I send stitch markers. Sometimes I send little bags. Like, for me, to send bags is kind of expensive. Like, expensive in one time, and two, it's not really a sample because it's actually stuff that I sell, you know?
Yeah.
But most of the time, or I'll do, like, key fobs, you know? But, anyways, so I've been working on that. So I sent a bunch. She also is starting a new collaboration where it's like a box of like full-size things.
Oh, that's cool.
That all go with a theme. So I signed up to do bags. So I was sewing 10 bags for that. And then I also did samples. I did stitch marker samples, which I sent them, and I made a set to put up in the shop. They're just plain because the theme is winter blues. So I had all these blue beads, and I just made basic
it's pretty
stitch markers in blue. And then I had some that were like the inverse of this that were like white with the blue marble on them. Like, I don't know if you could tell, it's like a blue marble. There's like, you know, so I made a bunch of those and sent those out after I finished sewing the 10 bags. And, you know, I've just been sewing. So this weekend, because it is a 3-day weekend, the kids have off school on Monday, I'm going to, it's for President's Day. I'm going to...
Like, do you mind them off? Sorry.
What did you say?
I said, do mine have off? I was like just trying to think.
Oh,
sorry.
I don't know. Anyways, because it's a long weekend, I'm going to spend some time cutting some more fabric and put my children to work and make them, like, so I do interfacing and I use iron-on stuff, so I'm going to have them do the ironing.
Cool.
You know, stuff like that. It's just, like, there's not much that I can, like, outsource for that. And I had that show last weekend, which I'll talk about in the random randomness, but I realized I am really, 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 really low on box bags, my pocket bags, pretty much everything.
Well, you've been doing a lot of shows, so, I mean, that's good, but it's keeping you busy.
Yeah, and I also realized my Etsy store is getting low, which is another reason why I'm like, man, I wish I remembered that this was Hugsmeade Week and I would have beefed it up and made, like, maybe special stitch markers. I might still have time today to do that and do something like that, but I don't know. I feel really lame for, you know, but I have, like, a really long list of special orders. Like, I think I'm going to have to stop doing special orders right now because my list, I have, like, a whiteboard. Like a big 3x4 foot whiteboard, and I put it in half, and on one half is for clubs, so I have them written up there. So if anyone orders a club, I know what to send next, and then I have for special orders, and that side was like filled up big time. So I'm like working through that as I'm sewing for these shows that are coming up. Yeah, and then, like, I told Andy, I'm like, I think I might need to get you to get a sub for art because I don't have time to do art class and this stuff. He told me I wasn't allowed to do that. So. But anyways, that's the problems of working from home. So
it's funny.
All right, next up, can we talk about gym, even though we haven't actually worked out?
I need to do something.
I do as well. Like, every night, Andy rides the bike.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I hate him. But, not really. But, I keep saying, oh, I'm going to do it. And I went so far as to a couple of days last week, not this week, but last week, putting on workout clothes, getting my sneakers on. Yeah. And then I would go and do a million other things that I have to do. But I think if I can just get myself on the bike and working out, I will definitely feel much better, I think.
Yeah.
So that's my goal, is by the next time we podcast to have at least worked out at least once.
Okay.
That's a really low goal, so if I work out more, then that's even better. So, how about you? You gonna have a goal to do that?
I will have a goal of doing it once, twice, as well.
That's a good goal.
At least.
And then if we could beat it. So, yeah. Okay. So, Jim, hold us accountable, fans, because if we don't talk about gym next week or when we podcast next, you need to yell at us for not working out. Yeah. I mean, really. And I'm talking to you, Jaji girl. Yell.
Yeah,
or
it's
motivationally
like gloomy out and winter, and it's just yucky and. Bleh.
Yeah, I think
it would do us well to work out.
Yeah, and I know, like, when I work out, I'll feel better, but it's just getting to that point. I don't know what my issue is, and I was doing so well for a while, and then I was so depressed. But you know, whatever. Okay, after gym is binging. We're like flying through it today, aren't we?
Yeah, it's because I've been lazy.
Are you,
and you've been busy with sewing. Not that it...
Yeah.
I have been watching a few things. I caught up on Shadowhunters. Actually, I think I have one left now because it was just on, 2 days ago.
Keep getting, and I missed it.
I also restarted in the middle of Z Nation. I'm still on the first season.
I finished it. Oh my gosh. But go on.
I'll probably watch some more of it tonight because my friend Fawn is coming over, so we usually watch it on Fridays. So I'll probably watch a few episodes tonight. But it's hilarious. And they killed off one of the main characters. It's crazy.
It gets even easier.
But there was... Okay, so if you haven't watched it and you don't want to be spoiled, stop listening. There was one episode where Citizen Z, which I love him, he's great. He makes me laugh. His astronaut friend came, right? So, like, but I totally called it in the middle. I'm like, he's totally hallucinating. Like, how smart of a person do you have to be to hallucinate your own astronaut to tell you that, like, your brain is not working well and, like, what?
That you're suffocating because of the carbon monoxide. I called it, like, right after they showed that thing blow up.
I forget what I did, but I was like, oh my gosh, like, he's so smart that he's, like, got this whole situation that he's, like, playing out in his head just to make him figure out that he needs to, like, get some air. I thought it was funny.
But it gets even crazier. Just want you to know.
I'm sure.
But, and actually in the second season, they show some, like, backstory.
Okay.
On Citizen Z. Actually, on all the characters. And they bring in a new guy that I really like.
Cool. What else?
But, I mean, seriously, like we were talking last week, like, that show, it's so bad. It's bad. Like, it's like...
But it's funny.
Great. Yeah.
I love it. Because it's not... It's, like, somewhat serious, but not. Like, it's just... It's good. I like
it. And
it's
like, you can't stop watching. Andy hates it. He's like, that show is garbage. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's awesome. It's, like, right up there with Sharknado.
I still have not watched those.
You should, because they're hilarious.
But yeah, so... I haven't been doing much or watching much.
I haven't been watching much either.
Can we say The Walking Dead is coming back?
I know!
On Sunday. Joe and I are having our Valentine's date night with The Walking Dead. I'm very excited. But yeah. That's it.
I am also excited for that.
So what have you been binging on?
I've been watching Jessica Jones. I finished Z Nation. Yeah. I didn't think I was going to.
Right.
Because I don't like that actress, but I absolutely love it. It's, like, so dark and, like, real, not real, but, like, what would actually happen if you had superpowers in real life and there was a bad guy after you.
Okay.
Plus the bad guy's David Tennant. It's just great. Yeah. So then, I've been reading, and I told you I was reading the Shannara Chronicles. I had to put them on hold because the similarities to the Lord of the Rings was just absolutely killing me.
Yeah, you were saying that last week, but you even stopped because of it.
I had to stop. So I was reading the series of unfortunate events, and I got through the 4th book, which is The Miserable Mill, and I was feeling so bad for those kids, and it was kind of like making my head like go like depressed. So I had to stop with those. So then I read the last book in the Artemis Fowl series, which I've been putting off. Like, I had started reading it, and then I just kind of put it off. And I just stopped reading it. So I started reading it again, and because you know how I hate to end series. This was seriously the last book in that series. It was such a good series. Yeah, I think so. The way it ended, it has to be. But it was like such, and Ian Kofer, I think that's how you say his name, who wrote these books. It just is such a great, it's about this like criminal mastermind who's 11, and then you follow him through up, and he goes up, and it just, how the Artemis changes through the whole series, and how it ended was so good, but also sad, but it was a really good book. So, I finished that, and then I was like, well, I'll start, book 4 in the, Bones series, their Temperance Brennan series, and so I'm reading that one currently, and it's really good. It's a little frustrating because it's written it was written like, it's in the 90s.
Okay.
So it might be a little bit later than the 90s. But they have cell phones. So it's going to be the late 90s. But they don't have like smartphones. So we're not in the 2000s yet. And, you know, so I'm reading it and it's good. Yeah, so and I started reading that because I downloaded a bunch of books from the library. I just haven't put them on my iPod yet. And I keep forgetting to when I need to charge my iPod to plug it in so it syncs up and gets all the new books. I just need to remember to do that next time it dies. So.
Cool.
But I have to like focus on audiobooks right now because I need to sew. So I have, like, I finished Z Nation, but the reason it took me so long is because I was like watching one a night, like, you know, like not like super binging.
Yeah, because it's hard to. I was gonna say it's probably hard to sew and watch something.
Yeah. Now when I'm cutting fabric, I can definitely watch stuff. It's just when I'm sewing, it doesn't work. So. And I keep forgetting that the Shannara Chronicles and Shadowhunters is on TV currently, so I've missed like 3 or 4 of them already. I need to like go back and watch them and get current. And I guess set an alarm on my phone.
That's probably smart.
I have to set an alarm for everything. I have to set an alarm. Like Bella was like home one day because she was sick, and we can talk about that in a minute. She was like, "Why do you have an alarm set for the fuss?" I'm like, "Because if I don't, I'll forget to unlock the door." And she was like, "Oh, because I usually like come out, unlock the door, and then just wait for them to come home and then greet them, you know?"
Yeah.
But if I don't set an alarm, I totally forget. And it's something that happens every day.
I hear ya. They get out earlies on Wednesdays. Because they have like teacher conferences or not conferences, meetings on Wednesdays, like weekly meetings. So the kids get out an hour earlier. But it never fails. Like at least once or twice a year, we forget about them. And like don't pick them up for a while, and they end up calling. So I have an alarm on my phone on Wednesdays to like go and pick them up.
Yeah. So that basically we're in random randomness now.
Yeah.
So I have to set an alarm for everything. Like I set an alarm for taking my vitamins, and I still forget. Like I was just like moved it to earlier, so I need to move it actually to later, so I remember to actually take it today.
Funny.
But yeah, so this past weekend was the Indie Knit and Spin in Pittsburgh. It was so much fun. I went and I wasn't sure if I was going to like make any money because I am low, and I just took everything that I sewed and pretty much sold it all. You know what I mean? Like I had sewed it like a week before, went there and sold a bunch. So I have to like sew some more. Because I have Pittsburgh Knit and Crochet coming up in 3 weeks. And then I got accepted to Homespun Yarn Party, which is my favorite one ever. And we're going to go down and stay with Uncle Rob. And then do that one. And that one's my favorite one ever. It's the 1-day event, and it's so much fun. But that's like 2 weeks after Pittsburgh Knit and Crochet. So I've been like sewing. So when I have doubles, I'm setting them aside, like taking one to the one place,
yeah,
one to the other. But yeah, it was so much fun. We were next to Dawn of Fairy Tale Knits, and it was just Andy. That night was Madison's semi-formal at their school, and so they. Andy couldn't come with me because he had to drive her and the other kids. And so Bella was like, "Well, you want to come with me?" And she's like, "Sure." So the day before, Bella, it's been like a week, last week and this week has been like a week of basketball games. So the girls want to stay because their friends are playing basketball. Well, not Bella's, but they want to stay because it's fun. And me, I'm like, you know, so I don't go. But Andy stays because it's good for the kids. The kids really like seeing the principal there.
Right.
So the girls have been staying. So then like Thursday, Bella comes home and she has this pack of papers, homework. And we're like, why didn't you do that? Why do you have so much homework? Oh, he gave this to us. We're like, really? Yeah, on Monday. I'm like, well, why haven't you been working on it? I have. I'm like, when? Today. I'm like, you should have been working on like 3 pages a day. And then it wouldn't be like, so now she's trying to do this pack of papers that Thursday. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So then she goes to school on Friday. And I'm like doing my like before show thing, which is like packing up, making sure everything's done. And then I had some bags that I was going to like finish and then just price at the show. And then Andy calls me and he's like, can you come get her? She's sick. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, she says she feels hot and she doesn't feel good. So I go and pick her up and come home and she's like, fine. I was like, are you really sick or you're just sick because you didn't do your homework? And it was because she didn't do her homework. So I made her stay in her room. She wasn't allowed to play on her tablet. She wasn't allowed to watch TV. And she was in her room. And I was like, I told her, I'm like, don't ever do that again. Because you come home when you're actually sick. You don't come home when you don't do your schoolwork.
Right.
And I was like, and next time you get a pack of papers, work on them the whole week. I was so mad. But she came with me on Saturday because she really wasn't sick on Friday.
Right.
And she like was knitting on her little hat that she's knitting, and she just kind of helped. And then she would get bored and she would be like, I could go get you coffee. And I was like, okay. So I gave her like $2 to go get coffee. Like they had a local coffee shop that like had like a little kiosk or something, whatever there. And and then she was sitting there, and then she was like, we were next to Dawn, Fairy Tale Myth, and she was like, that yarn is so pretty. I was like, you can go look at it. So she went and looked at it, and then Dawn and I traded. Like Dawn got some like Fabdories for her kids, and Bella picked up this.
It's pretty.
It's hard to see because it's kind of washed out, but it's like pinks and purples. The colorway is mulberry bush.
Fun.
And it's in her Queen's worsted. Bella was going to knit fingerless mitts, but then she decided that she didn't want to mess up, so she asked me if I would make them. So I have to knit them. So that will be my class for this week. I'm thinking I'm going to do the campfire or the camp. They're called camp out mitts, the ones where they're garter stitched.
Yeah, they're fun.
I'm thinking I might do that because I think it would look really nice, or just plain. Maybe the tin can knits ones, that go with the hat.
Mm-hmm. I like the campfire mitts or camp out. I forget what they're called. I made them for Christmas gifts a while ago.
Yeah, I think I might do that one. So that should be good for a class. But so we traded, and that'll be nice.
Cool.
But pretty much that's all that I've done. Like we did the Super Bowl thing at our friend's house.
We did too. We don't even like football. You know.
I don't.
But the kids got so excited, and we just made a bunch of good food and stuff. Like that's all it was about. I actually watched like the first half, and then I was like, "Okay, I'm done."
I basically knit.
But yeah, we rooted for the Broncos because of Chris.
Yeah, so did we.
And let's see what else. Oh, Chloe had a birthday. She turned 9.
Oh yeah, how'd the cake pops go?
I forgot to send you the link. Good-ish. I need to totally like tone down birthdays because she like wanted me to make for her class and for like office people and like them for their gymnastics people and this and that. I was like, I'm not doing all that. Like, I will make you the cake pops. So I made 2 boxes of cake mix. And I made those into cake pops, which basically, you bake the cakes in like a rectangular pan and let them cool. And then you just crumble them up. And then you add just plain frosting to them until it's kind of
doughy.
Yeah. Like you don't want it completely wet and dense, but you need it to be sticky. I used homemade frosting, so I don't know if that's the reason they were kind of crumbly, or if I didn't use enough. I only made a little bit and used it all and whatever. And I kind of winged it. It was like at the last minute at night. Oh, because they didn't have school on Friday, which her birthday was Friday. They didn't have school on Friday. So I had ended up making them on Wednesday night so she could bring them in on Thursday. And I was all like flustered. So it was like, I made the cakes earlier in the day, but I didn't actually make the cake pops till like 10 at night. And then like, so you mix in it and then you like, I use a cookie dough baller thing. Yeah. So they're all the same size. And you kind of like form them or whatever. And then you put them back in the fridge so they firm up. Well, then you take sticks and you dip them in the melted chocolate and dip that into the cake pop so it like holds it more. Well, for some reason, they weren't like, it wasn't staying in there. So then when I went to go and dip like and coat the actual cake pop, they kept like crumbling and stuff. So I was like, this sucks. So then I just like used a fork and spoon and like just like dripped them and put them on wax paper. So they didn't even have sticks in them. They were just like cake balls. And Chloe's a little upset about it, but I'm like, they taste the same. They just don't have a stick on them. But yeah, so that's how they ended up. But they're still tasty, and everyone liked them. But she has to give them to like all her old teachers, and like Leah's teacher, and Leah, and Trubit, and like she like goes and hands out all these cake pops to everyone else, plus her class. It's crazy.
That is funny though.
And then the next day I was like, well, now I have to make a real cake because it's her actual birthday. But no, it was fun. We kept it low key. They had like conferences. We had parent teacher conferences that day too, which are all doing pretty well. Though I found out Gabe had some incompletes for assignments, which it was like the first week or two of the new semester, so it did, or quarter or whatever, so it didn't matter too much. And he got him in. But I was like, Gabe, you can't be doing this because once you get up into high school, they don't let you make stuff up. Yeah. Like, you have an incomplete, you have an incomplete.
Right. Which, like, that's with Bella, when she was sick. I was like, no. You are old enough to know that when you have homework, you need to do it.
Yeah. Well, Gabe, because, like, I always ask him, you know, do you have homework? No. I'm like, okay. You know, what are you supposed to do? Like, he's supposed to be responsible. So he's been playing Xbox a lot after school because he's had stuff done. And I don't mind him playing as long as, you know, his attitude's okay. And that. Well, once I found out he didn't have his stuff done, I was like, you're not playing Xbox until all those incompletes are made up. And he's like all fuming and upset. Actually, he hasn't played it all week because he had some anger issues going on. And he's so salty about it. It's not even funny. But yeah, he's supposed to get it back on Saturday.
Better, and then you can play.
Yeah. When he just gets so mean, I think it's just his, like, he's becoming a teenager.
You remember Jared used to do that too, though?
Well, not even like talking video games, like just in general. He is so mean to siblings, which is normal-ish, but like Gabe, don't even say a comment if you're going to be like putting them down. Like, I'm so sick of this. So I've been adding on days of not having his Xbox, and he's been very mad. I'm like, you need to be nice.
Well, he'll get it eventually. For the Super Bowl, we went to friend's house, and their oldest is the same age as Madison. He had his girlfriend over. It was kind of funny. Madison was really upset about it, though, because she has a crush on him. I felt really bad.
Aww.
But, you know, like, there was many times when I was like, you know, over the past years, I've been like, you are worth more than that. You deserve someone who likes you back. You know, like, but, you know, when you're a teenager, you just have crushes on people.
Yeah, that's hard. You think it's like the world.
Yeah. So she was really upset Sunday night.
Aw, poor Maddie.
But, you know, it's your typical teenager thing.
That's so crazy.
But
I'm not looking forward to that.
But yeah.
The kids had an ice cream social at school last night. And usually we skip it because it's just a headache. Well, this year they had the band and orchestra playing. So, like, I'm like, they made it so you have to go, like, because it's required. So we had to go because Leo was in it. And then Chloe's on the student council for her grade. So she had to work it, and they were selling, like, Pop John's gift card things. She's going to be a little cheerleader or something, I swear. So she was, like, running around the gym with her little friend, who's also on the student council, holding up a big sign. And they're running around and, like, Papa John's gift cards, $5. Like, just, like, for, like, an hour. And she was, like, dancing around and, like, not a care in the world. I'm like, oh, my little child, like, where did you come from? Because I'm totally not outgoing like that. It was just funny.
That is funny because it's funny how different kids are. But then it's funny, too, because stuff that Bella does, I'm like, you are so your father's daughter. It's not even funny. Like, the whole going off and pouting thing. And just, like, getting all moody about stuff. I'm like, oh, my gosh, I need a break. It's funny. But, yeah, no, it's crazy how like, sometimes I'm like, where did that come from? Like,
yeah, Chloe is just crazy. And, like, she's, like, weaving in and out of the crowd. I'm like, you need to settle down a little bit. Like, you're gonna, like, hit someone on the head or something. But she didn't care. But I'm like, I can totally see her as one of those, like, little chipper, preppy people.
Yeah.
Oh. It's gonna be crazy. And then Gabe were there, and, like, he saw some girl from his school that's like, hi, Gabe. And he, like, totally didn't say, I'm like, Gabe, say hi back. Stop being a punk.
Was, like, embarrassed.
Probably. Yeah. But I was like, you need to be nice to people.
That's hilarious. That's really funny.
It was. Anyways, so now we're just kind of, like,
talking. But it's a shorter podcast for you guys to watch, listen to.
It is. I'll try and finish something for next time.
Yeah, and we have to work out for next time. So, hold us accountable, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.